Does it concern you, by the way, that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
We're trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws, then they shouldn't be offering their products.
Reclaiming my time. Chair Gensler, FTX was domiciled abroad and so is Binance, yet American consumers still had access to both. You can't really think that pushing this industry abroad is going to protect American consumers when it hasn't several times in the past on your watch. You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans and pushing American firms into the hands of the CCP.
And so it's sort of like ensuring that you get the disclosures and you're protected against, kind of the insiders.
But there's some argument to be made that you want this, that actually it would be better if all of this business was happening in the U.S. You talk about an SBF. Obviously, that was taking place in the Bahamas. And, a lot of people were trying to do things in other places. If there was a real regime here that everybody could trust and we had established rules and there weren't these questions about whether you were going to go over the line or you're behind the line, where the line was, would that be better?
I think that we do have those rules.
So you think those lines exist? Then why do people in the industry say that they don't know what the rules are?
Let's stick with XRP as we tackle the top stories. Bitwise just took a step toward launching what would be the first ETF tracking XRP. The asset manager submitted a registration filing, also known as an S1, to the SEC this morning. The S1 comes just 2 days after Bitwise registered an XRP trust product in Delaware. The company's CEO, Hunter Horsley, announced the development on X this morning, saying XRP has been an enduring crypto asset for more than a decade with investor interest.
The U.S. SEC is appealing a federal judge's ruling in its case against Ripple. A federal judge ruled last year that the SEC had not made its case that Ripple violated securities law by selling XRP to retail customers through exchanges. The SEC filed a notice of appeal to the Second Circuit Court of Appeals after being denied an interlocutory appeal for a summary judgment, with the spokesperson from the agency saying that, quote, the district court decision in the Ripple matter conflicts with decades of Supreme Court precedent and securities laws.
Okay, let's stick with that Ripple news as we talk about the top stories. The SEC says that it will push back on its partial court loss against the XRP issuer. The regulator filed a notice of appeal yesterday, more than a year after a federal judge ruled the sale of Ripple's XRP on public exchanges does not meet the criteria of a security, giving the company a partial victory over the regulator in its years-long legal battle. Now, in response to this latest move from the SEC, Ripple Labs chief legal officer Stuart Alderoty said on X that the SEC's decision to appeal prolongs what he calls, quote, a complete embarrassment for the agency, and that the company is weighing whether to file a cross appeal. He also questioned whether it's a coincidence that the agency announced the resignation of its enforcement director this morning ahead of the notice of appeal. An SEC spokesperson told CNBC that the agency believes the court's decision conflicts with Supreme Court precedent and securities laws. It also said that it looks forward to making its case to the Second Circuit.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Crypto+Passports equals freedom. I'm your host, Ohini Mara. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and definitely leave a comment because I love to hear your thoughts. And with that, let's go ahead and get into today's topic. Today we will be discussing the SEC's decision to appeal the XRP case is more about you and keeping you in poverty than anything. So as you know, the SEC previously sued the XRP Ripple company, basically stating that they are considered a security and they should be under the jurisdiction of the SEC. However, to their chagrin, a judge decided that XRP is not in fact a security, but it is a commodity, and that made sure that it was not under the jurisdiction of the SEC. Of course, this was a hard blow to them, and they basically tried to appeal and it was struck down. But here we are a year later and they are appealing once again. Now, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Gentlemen, it is because The issue with XRP is not about the company itself, but it is more about you and keeping you in poverty. What you must understand is that the SEC is not a company designed to protect retail investors. That is, of course, what they say they are, but of course, that is not what they really do. What they, in fact, do is ensure that retail investors stay poor, stay in poverty, and do not get ahead. If you don't believe that, basically take a look at the stock market. Take a look at how it works and how it operates. If you haven't been paying attention, you understand that the stock market is a place for poor people to go and lose their money to wealthy people and wealthy companies. How do we know that? If you take a look at AMC and GME and various other companies that retail investors chose to invest in, you basically find that at any given moment, the New York Stock Exchange and various other exchanges in association with the SEC have the ability to change the rules anytime they feel like it. You can have a company that is fully supported by retail investors and retail investors continue to buy, but for some reason, the price of that stock continues to go down. Basically, this is what they are trying to apply to the crypto exchange. They see that XRP is going to be the future of financial transactions. They see that it is going to pretty much be the protocol that is used all over the world, and they understand that retail investors have gotten in first. They understand that a lot of retail investors are going to make the transition from being simply retail investors and make that walk into the 1%. The SEC's job is to make sure that that does not happen. So if you remember the first time that they pushed a lawsuit against XRP, they took XRP off of centralized exchanges. This was to make you believe that XRP was non-compliant and it was going out of business and you were supposed to sell your position. But of course, if you are part of the hashtag crypto gang, then you understand that not only did we support XRP, but we brought more, and so did the rest of the XRP army. What is happening right now is that the government, that the SEC, and all of these other institutions realize that many of you are going to be multi-millionaires as well as billionaires, and they are trying to prevent that. Guys, the thing that is driving them crazy is that they cannot stop crypto. All of the activities that they have done to keep you poor in the white supremacist system, they do not work in the cryptocurrency market. Think about melanated men and how they have been locked out of employment. They have been locked out of getting finances for business. They've been locked out of real estate. They've been locked out of various other avenues like the stock market. Basically, the white supremacist system that was created by these individuals ensured that melanated men never got ahead. So while they told you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, they ensured that you would never be able to do so by locking you out of these systems. When cryptocurrency makes its introduction, they realize that it is basically impossible to do so, because while you try to lock them out here, cryptocurrency is available all over the world. They cannot stop you from getting in, and they cannot stop you from walking into the 1%. The only person that can do that is you. And this is why Gary Gensler is out here doing what he is trying to do. As you guys can see, he would rather take the American financial system than allow you to walk in the 1%. And this is what this XRP Ripple case is really about. They are trying to stop people from reaching generational wealth and financial freedom, because that is how they control you. they use poverty to control you. So if you are trying to figure out how to pay your mortgage, or trying to figure out how to pay your rent, or you have a letter of repossession on your vehicle, your utility bills are getting ready to have you cut off, all of these stressors keep you tethered to a job, keep you in a constant state of stress, and they keep you struggling. And the only thing you have to turn to is government. This is what they want to keep going. They want to keep you in that position. They want to keep you on your knees. And that is why Gary Gensler is working so hard to try to make XRP basically under the SEC's rule as a security. How do we know this? When did he file his appeal? The moment Bitwise filed for a XRP ETF, he basically felt it necessary to pull the trigger on filing an appeal lawsuit in the hopes of getting XRP under their jurisdiction. The problem is XRP is around the world. No other country cares what the United States thinks of XRP. They are currently working with XRP or getting started to do so. So the bottom line is, this is an uphill battle on ice for the SEC, but their motivation is to keep you poor, specifically melanated men. Their desire is to keep you in poverty, keep you struggling, keep you going back and forth to a job that you hate, living a terrible, mundane, mediocre life, and keep you struggling. So with that, I think that I've said enough. I think that we understand what is truly going on. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let me know why you think the SEC suddenly wants to file another appeal to try to get XRP labeled as a security instead of respecting it being considered a commodity. And with that, thank you for joining me for another session. And until next time, take care.